Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Resilient Plants. So yesterday I unboxed these two babies and today I will show you how I repot them. Let's see what the roots look like. It has been raining an awful lot here. So yeah. So at first glance, the roots look really healthy. So I'm really happy about that. And it's in a very nice, well-draining soil mix. And when you are doing this stuff, you want to take it like really slow. Because even though the roots look really chunky and hardy, they are not. They are in fact very fragile. And the funny thing about these roots usually store a lot of nutrients, and then once they are done, they kind of feel like hollow shells. So yeah. Some of the roots have been trying to escape from the pot, which is why these are growing outwards. Or maybe it's just another pup trying to come out. I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, you want to be very gentle with these roots. You don't want them to snap off. So I am gonna do it quickly and we'll do a time lapse of it. Okay, so you can see I've gotten her all cleaned up and she looks quite dehydrated but very healthy and throwing out pups from all over the place. And you can see how these guys put out offsets as well. So here you can see this root here has put out a pup from here, and that's exactly why so similarly this one as well, and this is exactly why you will find some of these Haworthia roots protruding upwards from the soil. And when you are repotting, just make sure not to push it downwards because they are trying to turn into new pups. Okay, so let's go ahead and take out this one. Okay, so at the outset, I'm pretty happy with the condition these are in. As you can see, they seem to be having really thick, healthy roots, although this one does look like it has been neglected a lot more and it is even more dehydrated. But yeah, at least we are not off to a very bad start. So I am going to gently separate the roots from the soil, and then we are going to get back to what it looks like. So here's what it looks like with the soil taken off. I must say that it looks way too dehydrated with a lot of these leaves, just shriveled up. But it's got healthy roots. And the pups it's showing seem pretty mature. However, since it's so dehydrated, I'm not going to be separating them from the mother plant, so that when I water it, there's more of them in the soil to soak up that water. And I'm just gonna be removing a lot of these dead leaves and dead roots from the plant. Even the pups are having a lot of dried up leaves. So it was due for a repotting. Unfortunately, it wasn't repotted from the people it came from, and crap, there's some spider web there. Okay, let's leave it on. So I do see a tiny one growing. So I'm guessing that these Haworthias, they just the pups just shoot out from the main mother plant and not really grow out from the roots. However, we'll see in future how this one pops out. So I am gonna pot this up in a slightly larger pot which has a lot more depth than this one. So the soil mixture that I will be using is very chunky. So it has all that perlite. So this is sort of your 70% amendment with 30% regular potting soil mix. So this has like perlite, orchid bark, coco coir, a bit of sand, zeolite, lava rocks, and stuff like that. So I will be using a transparent pot so that I can keep track of its root system, and so that if it's about to rot, I can save it in time. First, we'll be potting up this one. Okay. So I like to poke this in so that there are no large gaps in the soil. However, always try to be very gentle so that you don't damage the roots. Shimmy that soil in. I also like to go in with a toothpick because, then I can just make sure that the smaller pockets of air that's there can be covered up in a bit better way. So yeah. So this is all potted up. And then I'm gonna go ahead with top dressing, and in the end when I'm doing that I'll talk about why. So okay, let's go ahead and pot the second guy up. So I always like to use some covering, well filtering paper at the bottom so that we don't lose all this soil when repotting. And I usually don't go for anything fancy. I don't buy these screens separately. I just use a coffee filter because it's a filter that's not going to be holding in too much water, but then it's a well draining mix, so it'll at least hold on to some moisture for like a period of a few hours, maybe like 4 or 6 hours, and then eventually it's gonna start drying out. And with this dehydrated plant, it does need to hold on to moisture for a bit longer. So as you can see, I'm just holding this up. As of now, since I don't have it at hand, I'm just going to be reusing this older stuff, which works as well. So you don't always need 100% new soil. Just make sure that you're separating out most of the dead stuff when you're using reusing the soil. And I honestly feel that the plants somewhat do better when you retain a part of the old soil, because the chemical composition of the soil is something that it's used to. So it's not always bad to reuse a bit of the old soil. It feels at home that way. So after you fill a certain part, just tap it in to get the soil well settled. So I'm not really pushing on the soil. I'm just trying to make sure that we fill most of the gaps. Get rid of the dead stuff. And pack it in. So I will go ahead and get my top dressing now, and then we'll see what it looks like. So I've got my gritty mix here, which I will be using for top dressing. So this is a mixture which contains really dry gritty stuff like black lava rock, red lava rock, green zeolite, diatomite, I think something called myfinitum or something like that, pumice and stuff like that. So that all these lighter stuff like coco coir, perlite, they don't float up on top. So yeah, let's go ahead and dress it from the top. Sometimes if the plants can tolerate it, I also use pebble rocks, but I'm not gonna risk it with these fellas because maybe after 3 or 4 days when I start watering it, I am going to be watering it a bit more thoroughly, and I don't want small water pockets close to my Haworthia leaves, which may initiate rot. So And the part about top dressing doesn't get talked of too often. I don't know why that is, but yeah. So this is what it looks like in its new home. So on top you have this well-draining gritty soil mix, and then at the bottom you have 30% soil with 70% amendment, which consists of the gritty mix and perlite. So yeah, and I went ahead on a bit of a shopping spree yesterday to get pots, ceramic pots in which these would look good in. So a lot of people use terracotta pots for succulents, which I think is fine depending on what sort of climate you are living in. But I feel that I am living in a place where most of the time we are having to use up the centralized heating. So the interior of our home is very dry almost all throughout the year. And having them in a terracotta pot would just require me to water them more often, and I really don't have time for that. So it's why I started getting back to succulents again, because I can only have my plants indoors all throughout the year. On some days it might be warm for having these guys outside, but yeah, those are the days when it's really rainy, at least for a few hours during the day. I really don't understand this Midwest weather, so yeah. So that's what they look like in their new home. And I have a cash pot here that says it's made in Portugal, so that's good. And yeah, so this guy goes in this pot, and it's looking really cute and nice. And this other guy goes in a pot which matches its color. So I am a minimalist. I don't like going on shopping sprees unnecessarily, but since I had these new babies, I thought that I thought about it a lot, and I felt that this was a purchase that made sense, because I don't just want to grow these stuff as a seller, but I really want to enjoy my plants. So yeah, so these guys are going to be sitting in this new home for 3 to 4 days, or till I think in 4 days or something the sun is going to be coming up, and so that is when I will be watering it and putting it on my south facing window to just close to the south facing window, not in direct sunlight. So we don't want to put these window Haworthias in direct sunlight and scorch them. So yeah, I will show you how I water these guys, and that will be the end of this new plant repotting session. So here's the funny part. I'm still a newbie at this YouTube thing, and I didn't realize how long this video was getting. So the next video in this series would include both watering and 1 month update altogether. If you stayed till the end, thank you so much, and I hope you hit the like and subscribe button to help my channel grow. Sending positive vibes your way. Bye bye.